What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Uncle Fred back in the house again, giving you more content, just giving you some updates on some stuff. I'm your crack reporter. Uh, give you news and information that you need to know. You can get it from here, Uncle Fred. If Uncle Fred don't know, Uncle Fred can find out for you. I can definitely do that. So go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment. Uh, we take all comments, good, bad, or indifferent, because we're just trying to put out a better product, trying to give you information and content that's going to be valuable and that you can use, and also we're going to try to entertain you a little bit. All right. Just give you it's just this will be a short video on the news of the day. Still John Gruden. We just got the tip of the iceberg on yesterday, where it was just some of the content of the emails were revealed, but they had 650,000 of them. So as they start to open and these emails, further things started to shake out. So all we knew at the front was he said some things about NFLPA lead man DeMaurice Smith, and had some things to say about Roger Goodell. But there's some more explosive stuff I'm going to share with you that he said. It's just, you have to know these things to get you context of what was going on. And then some of the emails, and then it was like group emails that he was having with these other guys, these other movers and shakers in the Tampa area. And it kind of gives you the idea of how these people think, the mindset of these people who have millions and millions of dollars at their disposal and run companies and things of that nature. So we're going to talk about that, and also the latest the reaction from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in light of what has happened and was transpired on yesterday, as they start to unveil more things. Let's just dig into this. So we know that John Gruden was the head coach of the Oakland Raiders, now the Las Vegas Raiders. Got the job in 2018, signed a record 10-year, $100 million contract, with roughly $10 million a year. Pretty much had full autonomy. Now I know he has a GM, but pretty much Gruden's calling the shots, and everybody kind of knew that. So he had that kind of autonomy. But we know previous of that, he had coached the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from 2002 to 2008. And then previous of that, he coached the Oakland Raiders again earlier from 1998 to 2001, until he was traded to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We talked about that on yesterday. But here's the thing. And so all we knew as of yesterday is that, okay, he had the email where he disparaged DeMaurice Smith and Roger Goodell. But as they start delving into this thing, I'm gonna tell you what he said. I'm going not gonna say words, but I'm gonna let you be to your imagination. Now understand the context of this is that apparently Gruden is pissed off at all things, because at the time, between the time of 2011 2009 and 2018, he really he works for ESPN, but he really always wanted to get back into coaching. And at the time there was a work stoppage. And so he's just firing darts at folks because he wants to, because if there's a work stoppage, he's not going to be able to work. Okay. Because he works for ESPN as a lead football analyst. And if there's no football, then, he's not going to have a job. So he's talking to Bruce Allen, who's the president of the Washington football team, was then Washington Redskins. And so these are the things he was saying. he called he called Roger Goodell the F word. It's a slang word for a gay slur with the F. He called him the F word and called him uh, a clueless anti-football P, and the P is a derogative term for a part of the women's genitalia. Okay, so he called Roger Goodell that. He called him a clueless anti-football P. Okay, and he called him a F. Okay, this is Roger Goodell. This is the guy, the commissioner of the NFL. Okay, and of course we know he said that DeMaurice Smith, had lips that were, I'm not going to go into all that, but he had a term about that describing the size of them and how I guess he thought he was on stand up, man, getting a drum roll, he on a roll, and so and then he didn't stop there, he had venom for the Glazer family too. Now he has history with the Glazers. John Gruden was fired in January of 2009 as the coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by the Glazer family. Now he took a shot at Brian Glazer, who was one of the sons. He and John Glazer, Brian Glazer, and they also own the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Also own Manchester United. They also own a holdings firm. So they're big time. But they fired him. So he told him, he said, yeah, he told Allen, say, hey man, tell Brian to come and perform act on him. You know what he was saying, okay? So he was just going, man, just saying a bunch of, and the thing that gets me is these are guys that are sitting around listening to this and nobody and one of the things I always say, and I tell my son, I said, when guys start to go sideways with what, they're starting to do stuff that they shouldn't be doing, getting into activities that you shouldn't be doing. Somebody got to be the grown up in the group to say, hey, wait a minute, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Because Bruce Allen is on the Washington football team's email server with these things transpiring. Okay, so somebody says, hey, John, chill out with that. But no, he's just right with them. They chumming it up. He didn't stop there. Now there was later emails that they found that had some other movers and shakers. They had emails with Ed Rosty, who's the chairman and co-founder and founder of Hooters. There was emails with Jim McVeigh, who is the one of the executives of the Outback Bowl, which is in Tampa. They hold it in Tampa. And he's also one of the highest paid bowl executives in the country. Okay. There were some emails exchanged with them and Nick Reeder. And people might not know, well, who's Nick Reeder? Nick Reeder is the co-founder, him and Bob Reeder, but it was Nick Reeder of a restaurant chain called PDQ, which is sort of like a Tenders, but it's a little bit on a higher scale. It's supposed to be good chicken tenders and stuff like that. So, and then along with that is the chairman and president of the Washington football team. So he's chumming it up with these movers and shakers in industry, millionaires, okay? People that own franchises and businesses and things of this nature. And you're saying all these kind of inappropriate type things, and they're just chumming it up and stuff like that. So you start to wonder, and it starts to make sense now when you look at these types of things, and how all of this is just cool. It's nobody is, checking him on none of that because they're sitting there listening to this. And as a matter of fact, DeRosty sent I think some memes of the female NFL referees, in a sexist kind of thing. and they're just chumming it up, and then they were sharing some photos of some topless cheerleaders and women, and some of them were reportedly Washington football team cheerleaders. And remember, there's a investigation going on with about 40 Washington football team employees citing lawsuits and all kind of investigations going, citing a hostile work environment that there was towards women and things of this nature, to the point that the Washington football team was fined like $10 million. And Dan Snyder had to turn over the day-to-day operations over to his wife. Okay. And so a lot of these things is going on. And of course, Bruce Allen was kind of in there on that and stuff. So you maybe start to wonder, was Bruce Allen part of this? Is what these people were complaining about. He's the president, and you see he's co-signing on all these things that Gruden is saying. Now, if Allen had any sense about him, he'd be like, hey, John, man, I'm on my work email. Don't be sending that stuff, But, whatever. But getting back to my previous point, when you start to hear these sorts of things, it makes you think, it makes you understand why when you see the NFL and you see there are 32 teams, okay, and you only see 3 African-American coaches, there's only 3, out of 32 teams. And you got 2 other minorities. You got Ron Rivera and I can't think of the coach of the Jets' name. It's just slipped my mind. It's right there. I'll remember before the end of this video. I know I will, because I was talking about him to somebody today. But he's like Middle Eastern, and I think Ron Rivera is Hispanic. And so, but you got 3 African American coaches. You got David Culley. You have Mike Tomlin. And you got Brian Flores. That's it. So when you start hearing this kind of rhetoric being tossed around amongst these movers and shakers, people that own companies, would you not imagine this is the same kind of rhetoric that NFL owners would be talking about when they're discussing possible hires? Well, I don't want to hire him, man. He's got this one. He looks like this, and joking, making little jokes about it as they talk about it in their little boardrooms and stuff like that. So these the type of things. When I hear this, that's what I think about. You got all these millionaires sitting around, and and what's scary about that, these people have the ability to hire people, to make change and do things, and see they're not willing to, because they want to keep the system things as they are. So, but yeah, there was a lot going on with that, and so it just makes you think, man, that you think people, and I know all these people, former players and stuff were saying, hey, gee, Tim Brown said, man, I went around him for years, because he played for him in Oakland. He never gave me that. He treated me fair. And see, a lot of these people, they wear masks. I know we wear masks now because we're in the middle of a pandemic, but people wear masks all the time, and you never know what kind of people are, and when they're behind closed doors, or they're talking to people who are like-minded, and you get to see them. So what these emails were able to do, it's just pull down the curtain and let you see what's going on behind the closed doors. What do you say when you don't think people are hearing you? So yeah, and yeah, he's gonna have to eat that, man. I hate it for him, because I kind of like John Gruden. I like his creativity and the way he coached, and his little scowls and stuff on the sidelines. I used to kind of like that, but like I said, you think people, but at the end of the day, you really don't. You don't know these people. Even the people you work with, you don't know these people. These people are smile with you, and then the next day, you never know, they're at home, they're talking about you to their significant others or friends of theirs that come to the house, and they harboring these kind of things. Which, look, don't get me wrong, you can think how you want. I got no qualms about somebody thinking what you want. I feel way I feel about what I feel about, and I'm entitled to that. Okay. But when I am in a position where I am, kind of controlling the fates of other people, then you kind of got to look at things from a different lens, So, so like I said, he's sitting in, and he's exchanging emails with, restaurant chain owners is worth several. They hire people, right? They hire, people in their restaurants to because these people that own the restaurants, they have to hire, West Coast regional managers and East Coast regional managers and different intermediate management level positions and stuff like that. And and it would be kind of scary to think that these kind of people co-sign these kind of thoughts. How you talked about Demarcus Smith, and how you think about homosexuals and things of that nature, regardless of how you think about that. But you do know that you everybody has an opportunity to be hired, and you can't have preconceived notions about who you're gonna hire. You can't do that. This is America. You can't do that. So, and then he had the comment about Roger Goodell pressuring Jeff Fisher to draft Michael Sam, but he used the Q word for him. So it's a lot of things, man, that's going on, and I mean, it just never stops, man. As they start, but they're saying that they're not going to make these emails public. I guess they're just, but so that's interesting. But what's really odd, because one of the lead investigators, or the that was not investigators, but the lawyers that was brought up the case against the Washington football team had a statement. I'm just paraphrasing. She said it's outrageous that in all of these things, all these 650,000 emails and all these inquiries and all of these people that were involved with the Washington football team, and you couldn't find, and the only thing you found was the coach of the Oakland Raiders, or Las Vegas Raiders. You couldn't find nothing on nobody that works or employed by or has a prominent position in the Washington football team. And so that's why I was saying, y'all need to be looking at Bruce Allen, because he was the president during this time when this was going on. And, and so for some reason, and he said that they're doing all these things to protect Dan Snyder and Bruce Allen and all these, these people, and John Gruden. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not crying no river for John Gruden, but it's almost like they made him the sacrificial lamb for all of it, So, man, it's just mind blowing. All these things. I mean, it went from Friday to he sent his email. He talked about Demarcus Smith or whatever. I said, okay, yeah, it's kind of not in the. They're gonna probably fine him and he'll have to do some stuff. But wait, it gets worse. And they keep on. Then you find all these other things and stuff. So. But that's all I have. And then today, this is kind of the coup de grace. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have now since taken down John Gruden's name from their Ring of Honor. In 2002, he did win a Super Bowl for them in Super Bowl 36. He did win a Super Bowl for them, beating his former team, the Oakland Raiders, who he just coached the year before. So he won them their first Super Bowl. So that tells you something about how they felt about what he was talking about, what he said in those emails. This man won them their first Super Bowl. And if you know anything about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they were one of the most downtrodden franchises, pretty much aside from like 2 or 3 years since their inception in 1976. They were one of the more downtrodden franchises. And so he came and, they hired Tony Dungy. He couldn't get him over the hump. And then they hired him. And supposedly, he caught lightning in a bottle and got them, pushed them over the finish line, but didn't really win any other playoff games other than that, past that Super Bowl. And so he got fired. But yeah, they removed his name from the Ring of Honor at Raymond James Stadium. In a statement, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers released a statement. It says the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have advocated for purposeful change in the areas of race relations, gender equality, diversity, and inclusion for many years. While we acknowledge John Gruden's contributions on the field, his actions go against our core values as an organization. Therefore, he will no longer continue to be a member of the Buccaneers Ring of Honor. Boom. Mic drop right there. Okay. Goes back to, and before we shut it down for the day, this goes to what I've always said to folks, and I've heard it said by other folks, but it's one of the things I live. This is America. We, land of the free and the home of the brave, and we have free speech, free, we right to, bear arms, right to do all these things, freedom of speech. We have all these freedoms. Okay. Yeah, you can say anything you want to, and you're free to do that, but you're not free from the consequences that come from it. So always remember that you might be free to say anything you want. Okay. Yeah, you're free to cry fire in a crowded theater. You can do that. But if you get stampeded, that's on you. And if the fire department come and they arrest you for whatever or fine you for that, that's on you. You're free to say it, but you're not free from the consequences. Yeah, you can say bomb on an airplane if you want to. Go ahead and try that. Go ahead and try that. You definitely can say it, but there will be consequences. And yeah, John Gruden is well within his rights to think how he wants about DeMaurice Smith, about Roger Goodell, about Brian Glazer, about women cheerleaders, about any of these things. He can do that. It's in his right. But the consequences that come from it, as we see right here, they're taking down, achievements that he's done. And then at the end of the day, was it all worth it? That's what you got to ask yourself. But that's all I got for that. And as more things shake out with this, your Uncle Fred gonna be right here for you. I'm gonna bring it to you. But that's all I got. More fallout from John Gruden, Ring of Honor taken down. And man, sometimes you fall fast in this world when you don't do the things you're supposed to do. But that's all I got. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Keep our numbers up. I'm gonna continue keep grinding and give you good content. Uncle Fred, we'll see you later. I'm out.